Greetings, soul family. Today's video is going to talk about being an observer, okay? And what that really means is simply allowing your thoughts about other people, about situations, about everything that you experience in your day-to-day daily life, allowing those thoughts to come through you, accept those thoughts, and do not judge those thoughts. Many of us constantly have something to say about someone else. We're all guilty of it. And I don't even want to say guilty. I feel like it's innately natural. We just do it because this is human nature. But the challenge is to learn to just observe and not judge everyone and criticize everyone for what they do or what they think or believe or their actions and behaviors. Once we start to really get centered and in tune with our higher self, we're going to realize that duality is a limiting belief, and we're in this 3D dimension. Here in the 3D, we are dual beings, and we simply think negative or positive, good or bad, right or wrong. You know, it's always in every thought. In every single thought, we're constantly on this dualistic mind work. So when we start to bring in those thoughts, accept those thoughts, don't reject yourself, because you're going to think thoughts all day. You're an antenna, you're a frequency, you're an energy being. You're constantly picking up on other people's thoughts. Sometimes those thoughts aren't yours, okay? Be aware of that. Other entities can actually attach their own agendas to you and implant thoughts in your mind. Yes, that's possible. Your friends, your family, your co-workers, everyone that you interact with has thoughts. And when you're in their energy field, you can pick up on their thoughts, because we're all electric, magnetic, frequency, energy beings. Know that everything that everybody thinks is okay, and in a sense, from their perspective, is valid. Okay? Let's not be judgmental. Let's start to really focus on the validity of every single soul in existence. Okay? My recommendation is stop judging people. Somebody walks into a room that you're in, and they might not be dressed the way you believe is fashionable. So you decide, oh, well, let me look at her because she looked crazy. She got on, silver shoes and a blue tank top. She looked crazy. No, she looks the way she woke up feeling like dressing. Who are you to validate somebody else's fashion sense? At the end of the day, ego needs to express itself. So some people roll out of bed and just wear their pajamas and say, listen, this is how I'm feeling. This is how the ego is feeling. So I'm going with it. You know what I'm saying? Some people, might, want to wear colors that represent what they're feeling, or they might want to enhance themselves with wearing chakra colors. And who are you to judge? You know what I'm saying? So it's different things that people do, and they're doing it for them. Know that when somebody is doing something, They're doing what they believe is the best thing for them, even if what you consider them doing is something wrong. Maybe somebody breaking into someone's house is considered wrong, right? Wrong. But this person might, in that moment, feel as though their back is against the wall, they're in survival mode, they're coming from a fearful vibration. They're vibrating really low. And at that low vibration, their thoughts to rob someone is valid because they're in a state of fear, and vibrational frequencies of fear is one of the lowest vibrations you can be in. And from that space, you have to realize that they are literally trying to survive. They are trying to protect themselves, okay, and support themselves, and trying to fill themselves up because they're so empty, okay? So don't necessarily feel like you have to judge people because in your mind, from your frequency, what they did was wrong. Okay? Because you might be vibrating on a much higher frequency. You may not be in a survival state of mind. You might not be coming from a fearful place. So you might easily judge that person and say, you know what? He did something wrong. But you don't know the motivation behind it. So let's try to dial back from these, viewpoints. Honestly, I'm learning to allow my thoughts to just pass through me. I'm starting to say to myself, okay, I'm thinking again. And, in my consciousness, I'm just mindfully being aware. Take responsibility for your thoughts. Accept them. Don't reject your thoughts. Say, you know what? I am thinking these things. I am in a judgmental state. Let me, be more of an observer right now. Tell yourself this. The more you start to tell yourself, the more it becomes a habit. But you will love how your outlook on life starts to really improve once you start being an observer. Be an observer. Don't worry about what someone else is doing. Don't worry about how their viewpoints make you feel. Start to accept their views for what's right for them. And then look at your own views and just say, okay, that's right for them, but this is right for me. You don't have to argue. Being an observer will decrease the amount of verbal confrontations, the amount of conflicts that you experience with others, with the people in your life, your spouse, your friends, your family. Once you learn to accept the validity of everyone's point of view and stop judging them, you will have more harmonious interactions with others. This will allow you to grow spiritually. This will create harmony and balance in your mental state. Once you can cut out some of that mind chatter and bring in some more peaceful ways to be and exist, you will experience more spiritual growth. Your soul will, vibrate at a high frequency, and you can really start to manifest better. You can start to send love and light to others without judging them. Somebody might be in their lowest state and you happen to come by, and because you're now becoming an observer of your thoughts, you're no longer coming from a judgmental space, because that's low frequency shit. You know what I'm saying? You're able to send love and light. Your very presence around somebody in a low vibrational state will pick them up. Be the light. Okay? Be the love you want to experience. You don't want other people looking at you and judging you. You might have had a bad day. You might have just broke up with your boyfriend. And you feeling like shit. Your hair matted on one side. You got crust in your eye. You just looking ratchet. Right? and somebody else looks at you and they see you and they turn up their nose at you like, look how she look. She look ratchet. Well, in your opinion, she looks ratchet, but she looks like how she feels. And can you imagine somebody's feelings being completely shattered? Their heart is broken. They just lost their lover. And they're emotional and they're drained and they're vibrating on a low frequency. And then you come with your frequency, and instead of sending love and light and compassion, you judge me and you send negative vibes to me. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like kicking somebody while they're down. And you're doing it subconsciously because it's such a habit. It's from your habitual subconscious thinking that you're doing this. And you're not increasing the love in the world when you do these things. If you want to be love, okay, start with being an observer first. Start with mindfully managing your thoughts. Thoughts become reality, people. And once we start to realize that, we will literally check ourselves when it comes to what we're thinking. Because if you know your thoughts can become things, you're going to want to manifest things that benefit you, things that make you feel whole, okay, that keep you in a loving, high vibrational state. Remember that when you judge somebody in a negative way, okay, that negative thought, it might not necessarily be bad, because remember, there's really no such thing as good and bad. But that thought, if it's a low frequency, that person can absorb that, and you just now add it to the turmoil that they're already experiencing. So why do that? You know, you might not necessarily need to know what somebody is feeling, but you can look at people and sense people, because we're all intuitive beings. We can sense somebody. Okay, if somebody is in a down, depressed state, we can pick up on that. When somebody is naturally happy and upbeat, we can pick up on that. So why not send that person in low vibration some high vibes? You know what I'm saying? And say something in your spirit to them, you know, that will encourage them to raise their own frequency, to let them know that every lesson, every hardship, every challenge has a blessing, a hidden blessing, and that you hope that, you know, it can be revealed to them. Each and every one of us is nothing but different aspects of each other. So let's not judge each other. Let's realize that we all have experienced different states and different frequencies, and that we don't always vibrate on a high frequency. Some days are good, some days are bad, right? But they're all necessary. They all exist for a reason. We have to realize that being an observer allows us to truly step into our power, to truly be and just exist and be confident in that inner knowing. Okay? It's a journey. It's not easy. And it's not a natural thing. You know, we weren't taught, our parents weren't taught, their parents weren't taught. This is innate. This is generational, judgmental thoughts that we have to start to now, you know, correct and step into our power and realize that each and every aspect of us is valid, is necessary, and send love and light. And on that note, Hotep.